We are just one day away from Christmas Eve, and for many, the holidays can be a stressful time of the year. If you're needing advice on how to cope after the holidays, look no further. Lauren and Ben join us today from Mission Partner Services. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. So we've been going 100 miles per hour straight for the holidays. We're about to slam on the brakes after next week. How can we begin to adjust to this sudden change?
Well, really, it's just kind of preparedness. Enjoying each moment. Enjoying each day, kind of soaking it all in, and kind of filling our cup is kind of the key. So when things get back to our routine of going back to work and to school, we've got something to pour out. We've got something to look forward to because we've got a little something in our reserve. And just being mindful that those things are going to come back is kind of the key. And so a lot of us have taken a lot of time to kind of decorate our surroundings for Christmas with trees and lights and food. If we prepare it, and we do that even in the coming weeks, if we take something and we make a part of our house enjoyable and decorate it in a way that we like, it's going to help us deal with those stressors.
For sure. So what are some things we could be aware of to maintain this positive and good outlook?
Well, just being mindful that it's coming. All good things are going to come to an end. Being able to recognize whenever you get overwhelmed, that's kind of the key. This time of the year is hard for a lot of people. Their grief kind of ramps up a little bit. Being able to recognize when it may be becoming a little bit unmanageable. That's something to be on the lookout for. Job stress, we know it's coming. Whether you work from home or whether you work from an office, there is some stress involved with going back to work. And just knowing that it's coming, it's just kind of part of it. And even on the flip side of that, there's lots of folks that don't have a job. That really cuts into our self-esteem. That kind of cuts into our spirits. But you know what? It's going to be okay, even with the credit cards coming in. Some of us, we use those things and we're surprised at how much we spend. And so knowing that it's a possibility that's coming in, and it really takes doing some self-care so that when those overwhelmed feelings come, that we know what to do, we know how to deal with it.
For sure. And a lot of things I've noticed in myself, friends, everything like that, is that some days this year has been super unique. It's hard to sometimes just get through the day, go to work, go home, go to the gym. So what are some ways we could do self-care? I mean, is that going to sweat it out? Is that a bubble bath? What do you define self-care as?
Yeah, great question. So I think that it's important to realize that with self-care, it's a very intentional act. So self-care is something that we have to choose to do to better our overall sense of being and to improve our mental health. And honestly, I think many of us kind of have the misperception that self-care is selfish, and those of us that are caretakers by nature tend to struggle with this. So this is about realizing that in order to recharge our battery and to refill our cup, we have to practice self-care. It's very important, and in fact, it's one of the few things in therapy that I suggest to my clients is more than a suggestion, but a must. It's something that we have to do to be healthy, and there are 3 ways to do that to fulfill our self-care. Is remembering that it's nurturing the whole self, and that's emotionally, that's physically, and that's spiritually. So it's getting creative and finding ways to meet those needs, to make sure that we're being creative, like you said, and the bubble baths and taking a walk and calling friends and doing things we enjoy. Making sure that we realize that in order to be the best version of ourselves and to be fully present for our family and to be able to give back to our work and our family and our life in general, we have to make sure that we're taking good care of ourselves.
Absolutely. If anybody needs help with their New Year's resolutions or has more questions for you guys, how can they contact Mission Partner Services?
Well, we have a website. It's missionpartnerservices.com. Our phone number is 903-437-4467. We have a Psychology Today page, so there's several different ways that you can get and contact us. The key is to remember you can't change the situation, but you can change how you react to it.
Amen. Great advice right there. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you.